And joining us out from New York is Israeli-American stand-up comedian Moti Rosenfeld. Moti, thanks for joining us. I should explain, you were born in Tel Aviv, but you were actually raised on Long Island in the same neighborhood, the 5 towns I grew up in. But briefly about your background, because that plays quite a bit in your comedy.
You're absolutely right. Born in Israel, and we moved to New York when I was 7 years old, and I have never heard a heavier New York accent than yours.
It's gotten worse since I've been in Israel.
I have, just for the viewers to know, I have you in my ear. I can't see him, but it sounds like I'm in the back of a taxi in 1970. That's how strong your accent is, and I love it.
But what about your background? Growing up on Long Island, a religious background?
More traditional. We were Israeli. We spoke Hebrew in the house, but we had all the options to know all the types of Jews in the world. And then I went to yeshiva, so I learned there, and I just observe all the Jewish communities that I'm in, and I bring it into my stand-up.
Right, but let me ask you about that decision, because there are many Jewish comics. Many have also had traditional backgrounds, but you made a decision to utilize it in your comedy. Talk about that decision, and was there some resistance to it from, say, managers and things?
You know, actually there was. At first, people would actually say to me that you have an accent, you should try to work on it and make it more, you know, so there shouldn't be a Jewish accent in it. And then when you begin doing comedy, you begin to develop a voice, and my voice was just Jewish, and I was working in a lot of Jewish environments, and it just was me. It just became me. So I embraced it, and you know, when you're true to your audience, others follow as well.
Well, let me ask you about your audience, because that is so specific about different rabbis, Ashkenazi, Sephardi. How do Jewish audience react, and are there non-Jewish audiences that can laugh at that and relate with that?
Well, look, my theme and my motto is know your audience. The name of my special that's coming out is Know Your Audience. And you have to feel the room. You have to see what kind of people. Is it a strictly Hasidic group I'm performing for where there's a mechitza in the middle? Or is it Reform Jews who don't know that much about, you know, jokes that are like about the Torah and things of like the Siddur and prayers and things of that sort. And when there's non-Jews in the audience, it's an opportunity to even explain to them what I'm doing. So it all depends on the audience.
Right. Are there Jewish topics that you would consider out of bounds, to go too far, or simply could be offensive to some?
Absolutely not. As long as it's done right. It's the way you deliver the joke. There's no topic that's not that you can't make into something funny and bring light into it. I have a whole thing I do about Holocaust museums. I have a thing I do about shivas. I have a thing I do about things that you think, how could you make jokes about this? But it's actually, it's amazing. It's A, you're teaching people about it. B, you're bringing knowledge about it, and it's a great way to inform people who are Jewish and not Jewish about Jewish topics.
Right. Moti, if I can ask, you've come out, which is no big deal in this day and age, but you do some material, and in fact, some Orthodox Jewish, you have some Orthodox Jewish fans and audiences. Has that impacted on who you can play to in your comedy?
Thank God it hasn't. People are booking me still in Orthodox circles and in not Orthodox circles, and of course in non-Jewish circles, especially when the article came out in Variety. It opened up more people to my audience, and again, it's know your audience. Everything that's appropriate for whatever's in the room is what I do. So
right.
It wasn't a hump to get over.
All right, I hate to put you on the spot, but everybody has their favorite Jewish joke. Do you have a favorite Jewish joke or bit you want to give us now?
My favorite Jewish joke? One of my favorite Jewish jokes is a 90-year-old man marries a 60-year-old woman. On the wedding night, she says to him, "Irving, come upstairs and make love to me." Irving says, I can't do both.
Well, that is a good one. Modi Rosenfeld, we hope to see you in Israel and maybe in our studio here on Jewish World Weekly.
I will be in Israel. I will be in Israel in Sukkot, and I have a whole bunch of shows there. And I would love to hear from everybody, and you can see whatever shows I have on modilive.com, MODILIVE.com, and Instagram, Modi_live. Thank you for having me.
All right, Modi Rosenfeld, thank you for joining us.